Welcome back, my fellow duplicants, to Oxygen Not Included. Today we're going to be continuing this regenerative systems for the metal refinery. So I think that's the right term. Essentially, we're putting energy into the system here, and then we're using the steam to power up a steam turbine to regenerate the power a little bit and get a little bit back out of it. And some of these metals, depending on what we're working on here, will actually be a net gain of power. I did a whole video on that. That was actually just looking at the different metal refineries if you were to run them continuous. However, what I'm doing down here is automating inventory. So we have a smart storage bin and a storage bin right here set up on a little bit of logic behind it. So that way I always have a certain amount of refined metals on hand. So the idea is that you really only run these to build up a certain amount of inventory. And then as you build things and queue them up to be built, your duplicants will come back down here and draw down a certain safety amount or a certain stock, and then once we get into safety amount over here, then we'll go and rebuild more and more metal refinery. I can't speak. What I'm trying to say is we have stock, and this is the amount we have right here. Once we go below that, we get into our safety stock here, and at that point, we replenish the total amount of metal in this area. So the other day while I was mowing the grass here, I was thinking, you know what, I should set up more than one steam turbine, just in case I have other hot stuff that I want to pipe through that around the base, for one reason or another. Not only that, I'm not sure how having all of these different metal refineries down here will work. So if I build it big, then I don't have to come back and touch it later, right? That's the idea. So I'm going to take this and I'm actually going to scale it up. Now, last time we built up a decent amount of ceramic, so I don't have to worry about that too much. So here's kind of the thought. If I leave 3 spaces in between here, that'll give me some space to kind of do some things with pipes if I need to. And then I can kind of do this number over here, and that will be for additional steam if I need it. All right, so there we go. That should be more than enough, I would hope. Tell you what, we'll go in here as well, just to kind of clear this out. And, ooh, there's a little bit of meat in there too. There we go. Okay. So I need an electrical engineer skill in order to build that. Do I have anybody with the skills at the moment? Merc is getting kind of close because he has improved tinkering, but kind of looks like it's going to be Bubbles' thing. So there she goes. Okay, as far as what I was doing over here with this pump, this was really just kind of an experiment just to see what would happen if I let that water in kind of at a certain pulse coming out of here. So you can see it's at 24 degrees, and by the time it gets over here, it's at 21. So I guess that kind of worked and kind of proved its point. But at this point, I really don't want water piping over here. I really have no need for more sleetweed at this point. I got plenty of natural growth going on. So I'm going to get rid of all of these liquid pipes here. Now there's kind of a good reason for that too, because if you take a look at the temperature here, you can see it's starting to get kind of toasty in some spots here. A nice cool 39 degrees Celsius. Now luckily we decided to automate the farm down here as far as its temperature. But with as many things that I'm trying to do in this area and as many biomes that I'm digging into that happen to be quite a bit warmer, I'm starting to see quite a bit of heat. So I think it's about time that I start to fire up a system here that's going to just kind of cool the base. This thing's going to take a little while to build, so well, never mind, we just built it. Ooh, lucky us, we got some lime out of that, 150 kilograms worth. Hey man, who keeps letting all these slicksters in here? Super Meep, that was you, wasn't it? Oh, you know what? Hang on. I might even have the traps at this point. I think it's under food. Critter trap. 200 kilograms. Oh, I don't have that. Merc, I need more plastic. Oh, you know what? Okay, that was the other thing. I can get more hydrogen in here without it being overly complicated. So here's what I can do, since I built this thing up here for no good reason. What I can use is a canister filler. When have I ever used this thing? Well, here's a good use for it. So I'm going to fill this canister with some beautiful hydrogen, eventually. Somebody? Please? And then I'll put the canister emptier right down here. Ha-ha! Bam! Super Meep's all about that. There we go. Kaya's got it. Thank you. Okay, well, you tried. It was a good attempt. What do we got here? So this here is going to build up lots of hydrogen, maybe a little bit of oxygen. So you can see that it only built up 10 kilograms. It's not that much, which is why I don't use it that much. But inside of here is a bottle of hydrogen. Yeah. So what I can do here is just collect a fair amount of bottled gases. And I've never even thought of this till now, but you know, if I have bottled oxygen and I really wanted to go into a tunnel or something like that, I could potentially just use a canister like this to go into a deep tunnel and just put a little bit of oxygen there for the dupes. Although 10 kilograms isn't much, it's still kind of an interesting way to move oxygen around. Dupes, you like straight up missed this pipe. What's up with that pipe? You don't like that pipe? No, we're just waiting for Merc. Yeah, okay. Thanks, bud. Okay, so you see how we've pumped in, we have several bottles there, but now I'm going to go down here and I'm just gonna click on hydrogen. So, somebody's gonna run up here and they're gonna grab hydrogen, right? Oh my gosh, how fast have they gone? Bubbles! You're lightning fast. There you go. Sweet! So that was an easy way to move a little bit of hydrogen into this area. If I can get more hydrogen up here, you can see that these glossy Dracos will be inside of hydrogen more often. So therefore their scales will grow faster and I'll get more plastic out of them. Pretty cool. I've never really used it like that. That's kind of a fun way to sweep up some gas and move it around. Okay, so here we have metal. We've got a loop here. And if I wanted to add yet another loop to this whole thing, I could just put another loop right there. Or I could just redirect this at an earlier point to go up through another one. Whatever, right? Okay, so in order to put a pump inside of here and pull a vacuum, I either need to leave a pump inside of there that's going to do what I want it to do, and that can survive the temperature like a steel gas pump, or I find a way to make it liquid lock so that I can get inside of there. I am sort of set up already for a liquid lock if I just kind of adjust these tiles ever so slightly. All right, I'll pre-build the radiators and whatnot inside of there. So that's all ready to go. Now let me go ahead and just get rid of all of this. How many dupes did I manage to trap over here? Did I manage to trap my entire population in one spot? I think I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I trapped the entire base in one spot. That's some sort of new record for me. All right, here you go, dupes. Find a way to get free. Look at them, they're all trapped. They just have no idea where to go. Okay, there they go. Is it possible to leave the doors here? If I put ceramic here like this. All right, let's focus on just one before I focus on all of them. I think it'd be easier to set up one before I build all of them. So let's go ahead and just put the bottle emptier right here. Stick with the original plan. I can flood that. It'll take a little bit. We'll enable auto bottling with a decent priority so that it just kind of keeps running. There you go. And then while I'm waiting for that to happen, we could just go ahead and build a gas pump right inside of here. And just to make this go a little faster, I'll put an extra bottle emptier right there. And you know what? Because I got super dupes, let's just go ahead and make it even better. Put more bottle emptiers right there. Boom. I kind of wonder if they're going to be faster than actually just running this pump and dumping it into that spot. All right, dupes, move that liquid. All right, you know what? Even though I have given them as much as I have, I think it's just going to be a whole lot faster to do it the old-fashioned way. Oh! Actually, by the time I got this thing set up, everything was already done, so problem solved. Okay, so now that I have a liquid lock in place, let me go ahead and just throw a pipe in there, and then we're just going to vent this out. It won't be that hard. We'll just take a wire, we already have power right there, and we'll just run this thing till it ends up in a vacuum. And at that point, then I'll put in these two tiles, and it'll be ready to go. So I guess I should start to think about how I want to do my radiator system. So right up here I have what looks to be a pretty good size cold biome. So I'm going to dig my way up there with a ladder. And because these steam turbines don't really put out tons of heat, I mean they put out a decent amount, but not an unreasonably high amount. I could probably just use a gas loop in order to cool the thing. So I could take hydrogen, stick it in a pipe, and then run that pipe in a continuous loop up here to basically a heat exchanger. All right, so there we go. Now this thing is running. Just gonna pipe that gas out. Perfect. We'll just kind of wait till that ends up in a vacuum. Now, if I used a mini gas pump, it'd be a little bit more efficient, but oh well, I didn't. Okay, so there we have it. Nice cold biome up top. All right, so here's a nice cold biome up here on top. I'm gonna kind of dig it just like this, and then insulate the top. That way, if we get a little bit of melt, the melt will puddle down here, and it won't kind of end up pouring into the base below. So I could just use a ladder. There we go. Now I'm in this biome. Okay, I'm gonna dig over here. And we'll see what's up in this area. This looks like it. Yes, it's an anti-entropy. It's the cooler thing. So actually, we could use that to cool things down if we really wanted to, at the cost of a little bit of hydrogen, though. And I haven't found a hydrogen vent just yet. Although I do suspect there's going to be one around here, maybe potentially back here, because nope, I just need to find it. I do have a cool steam vent right up here, that's cool. So there's a good source of water if I want it. I do need to make use of this natural gas vent down there. I also got the crude oil one. Yeah, we got more than enough stuff at this point. Ooh, I could use a critter trap. Yes! I could finally move this slickster out of here. Is that a glossy Drecklet? Yeah, baby! All right. I'm glad the video games are being good to me these days. Went to mow the grass the other day. My starter was broken on the lawnmower. Took me like an hour and a half before I figured it out. So now the process is stick the screwdriver in the key slot, turn it, while beating on the starter. Good to go. And then just last night, my GPU started throwing sparks. Yeah. It died. Hey, look at this. We're in a vacuum now. Fantastic. So what I can do here is I could just deconstruct the gas pipe. Excellent. We'll get rid of that pump. And because we want to keep things nice and cool, we'll get rid of the power wires as well. Sweet. Also, considering backups, I recently just upgraded the hard drive and my backup system. So I now have an active backup for my entire system, which is good because power outages were giving me issues here and was making me real concerned that my computer would be down for several days if I had any sort of issues. So I got that up and running. I feel like I stepped up in the world of IT. Got a little bit of redundancy going on. Got to keep these videos rolling out for you guys. All right, so here's exactly what I was talking about here. We got a little bit of like polluted water down there, and that's just from melt. You know, this isn't the coolest. Or maybe somebody brought something up here like iron ore and then just dropped it and ended up melting it. So it's always a good idea to kind of, again, have some sort of, always be aware of where you think the liquid is going to go. This also means I can now get rid of the rest of these gas pipes, and what I'll do is replace this sort of general pipe back here with a radiant pipe, and then bring it up here and do the opposite with radiant pipes up top. I really do feel like I should just go ahead and put it in this room, just in case I want to use this thermal nullifier up here. Also, with all of this Drecklet thing going on, can I get snazzy suits? Yeah, let's see if we can make 6 snazzy suits. That'd be really nice for some people. I like to treat my dupes good. Ooh, look at this. Okay, so we've got an extra polluted water here. Must have been because I mopped some other stuff up. You know what? Hey, this will work out great. I can go ahead and just pipe that into my existing infrastructure, just in case I have a little extra. Boom! Perfect. I like it. Almost like I planned it, except I didn't. Otto, what are you doing? Could you dig that tile? No, you just kind of want to stand up there. Does somebody want to help Otto out? Otto seems highly confused at the moment. He's managed to somehow get himself into a spot where he cannot get out. There you go, buddy. Okay, so here's a good spot to bring those gas pipes in. So 5 over, and then 5 back. So that's what I'll just copy up over here. Oh, it fits perfect. Almost like it's meant to do that. So what I'll use here is wolframite. It's not a refined metal, but it's going to be good. And then I'll go ahead and run insulated pipe from here on up to that spot. And no, this is not a pipe dream. I'm making this stuff out of igneous. Are you telling me I'm out of ceramic? After all I did last episode, I'm out? Oh, it's because I changed that back over to refined copper. carbon. Refined carbon. Alright, Brothgar, what are you doing? What are you doing? This should be here. And this should go there, like that. That way, if the next one goes in, it'll just be right over here. Right on top of it. How are we doing with the snazzy suits? Oh, looks like we have lots of them. Supermate, Bubbles, Kaya, Merc. There you go. Otto. Yes, and Stinky. Everybody enjoy your snazzy suits. Oh, wait, we gotta wait for Merc here. Come on, Merc. There you go. See, look at the nice little aura they're giving off there. Decor's not bad. Some spots it's kind of bad, but not everywhere. Oh, yeah. I meant to get this little glossy Draco. Here we go. Wrangle that thing up, please. Oh, yeah, and I totally forgot about moving the slick... They're just making such a mess down here. Okay, where's a good spot for those? Those guys. They do like the carbon dioxide, that's for sure. I tell you what, right down here. It's going to be a good spot for them. What? How did the little glossy Draco get over here? Look at all this hydrogen in this area now. Look at that. Perfect. Do I have a shine bug egg? I do have one. It's incubating. That's another idea for another time here. I could potentially build a shine bug sun and actually get some power out of it. One thing at a time. Let's get this thing up and running. Oh no, who let the flood in? Mop it. Too much liquid. Try to cue it before it goes. Woo! There we go. Haha! If you can do that, the dupes will still mop it. And since they're super dupes, here's what you can do. Look at that, kilograms. Oh, that is awesome. Just keep going, dupes. Just keep going. They can absorb an entire like pond if they really wanted to. Look at that. Oh man, that's awesome. Of course, now I have a mountain of polluted water. It's all gonna end up right here. Which is all going to end up right here, which I already know I don't have enough space for. I don't yet know of a way to not sweep that up. So now I've got a problem. How do I work this one? If you manage to suck up an entire pond, where do you put it? Definitely just a super dupe problem. I've been distracted by a ranch. Oh well, things happen. What were we doing up here? That's right, I was trying to get some hydrogen up in there. I need to get this loop running. Alright, I tell you what, there's only one Draco in here. We will just displace this one Draco. Sorry, bud. Luck of the draw. And then I will build that right up there. And just run the loop kind of out over this way. Before I'm done, let's go ahead and just cap... Ah, crap, do I not have any ceramic? Look at that, it didn't take the Draco but a second to get out of that. I was like, man, that is not the place I want to be anymore. It's alright, we'll wrangle you up, and we'll put you back in a better place. It'll be right down over here. What? I thought the whole thing about the pneumatic doors is that they want to get through the pneumatic doors. For real? Oh, or is that just the baby that's grown up? And then the other one died. How disappointing. Alright, here we go. We'll put a slickster down there. I'll just have like a max of 6 in that room, or maybe not even that much, like 4. It's not a big room. What? The slicksters are gone. I made this for you! What happened? Oh wait, I don't know how they would end up over here. Oh well, let's try this. Who knows what I'm going to catch. One slick, yes! Ha! Lucky me! Alright, there we go, one slickster captured. How about this one? No, we're just gonna leave it there overnight? Alright, we'll just leave it there overnight. Well, what happened to the other slickster? Did they literally drop it on the ground and waste my plastic? Dupes! What? One. You're it, bud. Apparently the other one escaped. That's kind of frustrating. The Draco died, just like that. Oh my gosh, all of that, like, bottled polluted oxygen is just letting off tons and tons of oxygen. It's all full of slime lung. No, please stop. Once again, you can never have enough deodorizers. Yeah, these dupes are not getting everything done anymore. What's going on here? Did you guys slow down or what? Alrighty, well, focusing back on what I was trying to do this entire time. The steam turbine. A little bit of power, please. Thank you. And I do have some ceramic now. Yes. All right, so in an attempt to actually make this thing full of what I want it to be full of, which is carbon dioxide, I'll put some airflow tiles over here. Ended up just full of oxygen or polluted oxygen. I mean, it makes sense, but oh well. How did you escape? I thought I wrangled you. How do I only have one glossy Draco? Where'd the other one go? Is that it? Is that what remains of you? Okay, so now all I have to do is give this thing a direction, and we're good to go. So we'll go up that way and back down this way. Hey, there we go. Got hydrogen. Wow, that was not very much in there. All right, so it's time to kind of clean some of this stuff up. There's like way too much going on around here. You. How's the temperature doing inside of here? It's cooler. Not having that be straight hydrogen is going to kind of annoy me. All right, so just clean up the rest of these pipes. If you put a little arrow on something like this, right, or essentially a gas bridge, you can clear out dead-end pipes like this. So once you give it a little bit of a direction, then we can kind of pipe the rest of that in there. Not that oxygen has anywhere to go, so probably will just get stuck. But that's okay. We could just go ahead and get rid of the rest of this for now and just clean everything up. I've got more than enough water for all of these liquid locks, so we're good to go there. Empty that pipe. And then make sure to sweep everything up, because you always want this to be a nice clean base. There we go. Super dupes. Have fun. All right, so just in an attempt to try to make sure that I have enough in this space to do what I want, I'm gonna put a couple of temperature shift plates back here. Okay, so this steam turbine looks like it's ready to go. Let's go ahead and try to cap it off here, see if we can capture ourselves a dupe or not. Stinky. Whoop. Of course. All right, so there's that. We'll see just how quickly is it cooling down. So it comes out at 12, but it goes in at negative something. Oh well, you can't always have nice things. Let's go ahead and try to put a temperature shift plate just up in here so that, you know, it's kind of something on both sides. You're good to go. Perfect. How do I want to do the power? Well, for starters, I need crude oil. So at least I got some crude oil over here. One of the things I want to do here is replace this with insulated so I don't get any nasty heat. But then I'm also going to want to have a spot to dig that out. So I'll try to make this a spot for collecting some crude oil. So we'll try to do that over here. All right, we can see at least the slickster down here is now pretty much in carbon dioxide, so it's nice and happy. I was really just hoping that another slickster would be down here, but right now I only have one. Although I do have another one in the incubator, so that'll happen eventually. Because now I need crude oil to end up inside of this loop. All right, here we go. We'll put a bottle emptier here for some crude oil. See if we can get this thing running here before the end of the episode. At least a little bit. I don't want to leave you guys hanging, for 2 episodes and not be able to see this thing at least run just a little bit. There we go. We'll auto bottle into there. That will pump it into all of this. And then let's go ahead and just get rid of this one piece right there. Right? And I'll go ahead and put down the metal refinery. Set that to iron forever. Let's see if we can run at least one machine here. I'm just deconstructing a lot of these pipes and like sweeping stuff up. It's nice to try to be able to just, keep the base nice and clean. So all of this stuff, just kind of deconstructed that, cleaning up that previous project. You can see how much the carbon dioxide is gone now. So the little slickster's doing his job. Not only that, we dug out quite a bit more space. I think that might have more to do with how much this has moved down than how much the slickster is consuming. All right, let's see where this crude oil goes. It flows right over here, up and through that area. And it shouldn't go anywhere until it's over here. And if that's below 300 degrees, then I can drop it into the metal refinery. And there we go. So now inside of here, I have a little bit of metal, a little bit of crude oil. Now, you guys were telling me about this. You can see just how much heat goes into this process when you look at it. So it'll say this will raise the temperature of the crude oil by 79.4 degrees Celsius right there. Or if you click on steel, you can see the temperature difference there, 138. So if I had done 300 here and hit below, what would actually happen is this thing would become petroleum inside of here. And every time I've had that happen, it breaks the pipe right there, even though it's still a liquid. I know I got a lot of questions about that. So we'll set this to 1,000 here. We'll try to make a little bit more. And we can set this to 3,000. And I'll try to run this metal refinery a little bit, see how much iron we can get out of it. All right, so I now have this leaky oil fissure kind of doing its thing. And I think I'm just gonna go ahead and put a door right up here. So if I get too much oil over here, I can actually just close that door off and that should overpressure that fissure. So I don't have to worry about it anymore. There you go, that's one way to deal with it, dupes. Just mop it up straight out of the fissure. Good plan. Alright, Otto, be free. Aha, here we go. That looks like some crude oil. This is how I plan to get oil out of here for now. We'll mop it up. Otto, dude, cancel, move on. There you go, bud. You'll be alright. Hey, good job, Super Meep. Taking care of the little shine nymph down there. That'll be the happiest little shine nymph we've ever seen. Alright, since you dupes like to mop, how about all of this down here? Look at that, there's like kilograms and kilograms of it. Anybody? There we go. Yeah, this one's a little less toasty. Fresh out of a slickster. It's about to poop on your head, Meep. Yeah, I know, gross. Ew. I guess it would help if I didn't bottle empty right back into the same spot. There we go. There we go. That's some crude oil. See, I knew there was some crude oil around. Ha! Bubbles is running the iron machine. Good job. Okay, so what we're going to do now, because I can, and I can queue things up, and kind of see how this works. Do I not have enough? Yes, see, I don't have enough, but it still lets me make more. There we go. I'll let this play out. So, at this point, you can now see that the liquid that's flowing out of here, look at that, it's at 141 degrees. And now that's going to flow through here, and you can see that this will increase the temperature of this water eventually. It's going to take a little while, but that cooled the oil back down. So we just have to run this a bunch of times. Basically make a lot of iron. Okay, so there we go. We ran it yet again. We don't have quite enough crude oil at this point just to keep running it and running it. But I'm getting there. I keep sending my dupes into like the worst place ever to mop up some crude oil. Don't worry about it, it's not that bad. Okay, there we go. More and more and more crude oil. We'll be okay, we'll just deliver it right over here. Good deal. All of that helps. Little by little, we're filling this loop up. I guess I'd really want to have that pipe in over here, but we'll find a way to interrupt the pipe and make it work. What we can do is this real quick. Quick! There, we just put a little valve in there. Perfect. And then we can set that to 0 so that the liquid stops flowing for a little bit and we can get more into the loop. So that way, once we get a little bit inside of this tank, then the temperature will continuously balance once we go through that tank. So that's really what you want. But I think I want a little bit more crude oil, so hey dupes. Just a little bit more, you'll be okay. Okay, so who's all hurt here? We got Merc, Otto, Stinky, Bubbles, Super Meep. Okay, everybody's hurt. It's been a rough couple of cycles. So we'll just throw everybody onto one of these cots here. There you go. Take a load off, dupes. You'll be all right. Look, they're having a nice conversation. Actually, I don't know if it was all that nice. Boom, just like that, Merc is back up and ready to go. Super Meep, you want to take a load? Oh, there you go. Pleasant chit-chat. All right, so now I should have more than enough to run through this refinery. Good deal, we can finally get things up and running. You can see here, we're just about sub-zero on the steam turbine up there, and the temperature shift plates that are behind it. Hey, there we go, so now we've got steam over here. Perfect. And we can start to see that I'm going to need to do something with the power. So what am I going to do with the power here? All right, so here we go. The steam turbine is running for the very first time. So it's generating about 300 watts or so. Okay, so here we go. More and more crude oil is being piped out while the rest is being piped back in at 120. That then runs over here and you can see the steam turbine kick on up. Sweet. And because I don't really have all the power grid and everything set up, I just put a couple of batteries there just to suck up some of those kilojoules. Nice, nice, it's working. All right, so now I think the next problem I need to handle here is heat. So I have like the perfect system over here just to kind of cool things down using the thermal aqua tuners. And from the looks of it, I think using the cold biome up here with just kind of this small, well, just using gas, I don't think was the right idea. It probably would stand a better chance if I was able to get it full of hydrogen rather than kind of a mix between hydrogen and chlorine. But it's looking like this under enough load will overheat. So I think I might just go ahead and just use my cooling loop over here, plug it in with what I got going on here, and kind of hook myself up with a base cooling system here so that I can keep the temperature in check throughout the rest of the base. But yeah, at least we got iron up and running, and I was able to build a couple of steam turbines thus far. We'll get another one up and running here pretty soon, and we'll be able to overcome this sort of safety stock and whatnot here. I like it. It's good stuff. Look at this thing. Man, it's up to 430 watts. All right, so here we go. Just run this a little bit more, and I should be able to have all of the iron on hand that I need. And the cool thing is I'll have done most of this work here without using up any energy from my coal, because this is actually a positive system here. So when I'm running iron, I actually regenerate more power than I put in, which isn't the same for all the liquids. If I set this one up to be gold, which it seems like I might actually have enough metal to do so, well then that'll actually cost me just a little bit of power. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit. The one thing is that this turbine right now is not automated, so it's just running like it is. So if I wanted to automate it, you know, I could just go in here, just add a little something to it so that I can turn it off based on, you know, what the batteries are doing. But until I get the power grid figured out, I don't think I'm going to worry about automating it just yet. Now, with all of that iron that I made there, which was a fair amount, we're talking about 5,000 kilograms or so, plus what I had with the steam turbines there, yeah, which is a decent amount of iron. And the temperature only went up to 50 degrees inside of this steam turbine here. If we take a look at the temperature over here, you can see that we're radiating a little bit of heat over into this biome. You can see it's coming back at 20 degrees, so it's leaving at 50, coming back at 20. There's a lot I could do to improve the thermal transfer between what's happening here and what's happening up here. Like this spot would be quite a bit better. Anyhow, that'll have to happen next time. Shield the screen from your kids. Things are about to get graphic. Let's take a look at what's happened here in the base over the last 100 cycles. You can see that the oxygen here has actually gone, yeah, it's a little bit low, and then I started to build in more oxygen, and then got low, and then started to average out. I kind of changed the way the charts looked, just per some recommendations here. So we're dealing with a lot more stacked charts. Okay, it's stacked. There it is. So you can see that oxygen, as we stopped digging, started to get closer and closer to net zero. But as I've expanded the base over the last several cycles, digging out more and more, we've had to produce more oxygen to fill in that space. Not to mention the oxygen generation has gone down as we've added more and more duplicates to the base. Food is kind of an interesting graph. I'm not sure what to make of it. However, I am now up to 619,000. I think the total number might actually be more useful if I can find a way to get that into the graph somehow. Stress has been continuously a net negative the entire time, so these dupes are really loving it inside the base. And matter of fact, if we take a look at a dupe just like this one up here, Stinky, you can take a look at his stress, and his stress is negative 5% per cycle right there. So even though he's sopping wet, his high morale is offsetting that. Not to mention the flowers makes a big difference right there. So no duplicate has been able to break the 0% stress barrier just yet. And even though this buddy bud seems like its growth is halted, which is strange because I'm not sure why. Maybe it was, air pressure. That's why. But these germs that it gives off, that floral scent, that's really powerful. Chores is kind of an interesting graph. It might make a little bit more sense if I did this. Yeah, okay, so now we can see where the yellow is. I've given them too much to do and they haven't finished it. And then the ones down below, they finished more than I've given them. So, maybe. For the most part, you can definitely see where the most activity is, right? We can see things were real active here, and now things are starting to settle out now that I've stopped queuing up as much stuff to do up here, right? So we're kind of let this thing settle, and now it's just running. So there's less things being done, and we should see that the chores are more negative, or shall we say more often negative? I don't know. Dupe time is increasingly confusing, but you can definitely see where I have added more and more duplicants to the base. You can see that the idle time hasn't really changed. Travel time is the one interesting thing but I still have a hard time making ends of this thing. Maybe. Maybe click this button. Yeah, no. Travel times become more consistent. Maybe that counts for something, rather than being all like this. Woo! Which makes me think that the dupes are more or less doing things that are nearby them. Maybe. I don't know. Not sure what to make of that one. The one that definitely shows some interesting things here is the power. Because you can definitely see where there was a couple cycles where I was generating power, but I wasn't able to store it or use it anywhere else. And that was because that steam turbine over here was running, but the batteries are full and I'm not consuming it. So that power just ends up wasted. So a little bit of automation or finding a way to generate a larger capacity for batteries would help. The other thing would also be able to, if I could redirect it to some other heavy equipment as well. So I think I'll probably end up using heavy watt wires in this space down here, and then having a power in case things got too low, but definitely having some options for power out. Because it seems like the materials I'm going to run the most of, which is iron and steel, those are both going to be net and positive exchanges here, because you can see the heat there's 117 kilojoules, and then iron is 67 kilojoules. And copper is pretty darn close to being even at 40 kilojoules. So there's definitely extra power that I can get out of this just from refining my metal. So it'd be nice to recover that and use it somewhere else. So there you have it. That's the graphic overview of the base. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode here of Oxygen Not Included. If this looks like the content for you, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. As always, guys, stay awesome. Peace. Brothgar out.